everybody, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. We have a special one today. Now I got two reasons, two purposes why I made this deck. This is going to be an artifact vehicle deck, much like I'm sure you've seen elsewhere. But I have a specific thing that I wanted to show you with it. So the commander is you're going to be your obvious Shorakai Genesis engine, but the art I found on Etsy is of Gurren Lagann. It's one of my favorite animes. You can see it a little bit closer. Check that out. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. Beautiful. And it's metal. I wasn't expecting it to be metal, but it's metal. And yeah. So basically what it does is you pay one and you tap it to draw two cards, and then you discard a card. You create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this creature crews vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. It has a crew 8, and it can be your commander. It is an 8/8. Now, what makes this thing cool, besides all that other stuff, was the pilots that I got, which, as you can see over here, are hanging out as Power Rangers. That's right. We got the Red Ranger. We got the Black Ranger. We got the Blue Ranger. We got the Yellow Ranger. We got the Pink Ranger, and the White and the Green Rangers. All here, all together. Everything's great. It's beautiful. These are my pilot tokens. And when I saw these on Etsy, I'm like, oh, I have to get them. And the thing that's really cool on the back of it, it's a Megazord. Isn't that freaking awesome? So the reason why this is really cool is the Mech Titan is an actual card in here that we'll pull up and show you. And you sacrifice that card to make this card. This card is the Mech Titan, is all colors, flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste. It's a 10/10. It's so freaking cool. So when I saw all of these things, I'm like, all right, I got to make an artifact deck. So we're going to go through that today for our fun little get together here of Casual Commander. Let's go ahead and start off with the simple stuff, an island. We like islands. Islands are great. The Rib Skift, it's an artifact vehicle, 4 mana, toxic 2, meaning players dealt combat damage by this creature also get 2 poison counters. Toxic is different from infect and poison. When Rib Skiff enters the battlefield, draw a card, and then it costs crew 3. So that means you can tap any number of creatures you control with total power 3 or more. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. It is a 4/4. Mage Right Stone, 2 mana. It's an artifact. Pay 1 and tap, and then you untap target creature that has an activated ability with tap in its cost, much like him. So we'll be able to get more pilots out there quicker. It's beautiful. Cadena's Silencer, 1 and a blue. When Cadena's Silencer is turned face up, counter all abilities your opponents control. And it's a Megamorph cost, 1 and a blue. You may cast this card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3 mana. Turn it face up anytime for its Megamorph cost and put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it'll become a 3. Right now it's a 2/1. It'll become a 3/2. Counter all abilities your opponents control. So it's very specific. There's a lot more creatures with abilities out there that we want to stop, and that's a nice one to have in there. Unlicensed Hearse, 2 mana. Tap it to exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Unlicensed Hearse power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards exiled with it. It has a crew 2, and its power and toughness is ***. So the reason I got this one in there is graveyard removal. There are going to be people out there that have recursion, and we don't want them to have recursion. Or, take out some of their special stuff. Myriad Landscape enters battlefield tapped. You can tap it for a colorless, or you can pay 2 and tap it, sacrifice it, search your library for 2 basic land cards that share a land type, put them in the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. It's good to have this one in here for white and blue. It's a 2 mana and a white and a blue. Azorius, I think is what they call it. And unfortunately, Azorius doesn't have a lot of land search stuff. You got some in white, not so much in blue. Cybership, 6 mana. Flying. Whenever Cybership deals combat damage to a player, put the top 2 cards of that player's library onto the battlefield face down under your control. They are 2/2 Cybermen artifact creatures. It is a crew 4 for an 8/8. Now, this is from the Doctor Who. What was it? Universes Beyond. The Doctor Who Universes Beyond. And I put this one in there because it takes cards from your opponents and puts them under your control. It's just a simple 2/2 creature, but it's removing whatever they might have had. And that's a good way to take away something good that they might have had. Fun stuff. I like it. The Might Stone and the Weak Stone, 5 mana. It's a legendary artifact. When the Might Stone and Weak Stone enters the battlefield, you choose 1. You draw 2 cards, or target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. And then on its own, it acts as a tap to add 2 colorless. It can this mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells, meaning it can only be used on artifact spells. Soul Ring, 1 mana, tap for 2 colorless. Pretty self-explanatory. Reality Shift. Oh, yeah. Oh, and the sleeves. I also made Gurren Lagann sleeves. It's really cool. I like it. 1 in a blue. It's an instant. Exile target creature. Its controller manifests the top card of their library. Manifesting is that player puts the top card of their library onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature. If it's a creature card, it can be turned up, faced up anytime for its mana cost. This is also another good card to use to thwart any plans or things that they might have gotten and they won't be able to use anymore. Castle Arden Vale. It enters tapped unless you control planes. Taps for a white. And you can spend 2 and 2 white to tap it to create a 1/1 white human creature token. Thopter Spy Network, 2 and 2 blue. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control an artifact, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. Whenever 1 or more artifact creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. It's great because it creates 1/1 flyers. They can either be flying blockers or stuff to crew any of the vehicles if we don't have our commander out. And then card draw when you deal damage. It's great. We love it. Planes. Parhelion, 2. 6 and 2 white. It's a legendary artifact. Flying, first strike, and vigilance. Whenever it attacks, create 2 4/4 angel creature tokens with vigilance and flying that are attacking. It has a crew 4. It itself is a 5/5. More planes. Disallow, 1, 2 blues. It's an instant. Counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Mana abilities can't be targeted. So if it's, one of those things, tap for a mana, that counts as an ability, but it's a mana ability, so you can't counter it. Got to be very specific about that. Zenith Chronicler, 2 mana. Whenever a player casts their first multicolored spell each turn, each other player draws a card. 3 and a 1. That could be helpful to you. It could be helpful to others. I don't think I have too many multicoloreds other than Shorokai, so I don't think it will really be a negative. Here we go. Mech Titan Core, 2 mana. It's an artifact vehicle. You pay 5 mana and you exile it, and 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles you control. That's also for the Thopters. You get some artifact creatures out there. Create Mech Titan, a legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature token with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste that's all colors. When that token leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with Mech Titan Core, except Mech Titan Core, to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. It's a crew 2 and is a 2/4. Planes. Temple of the False God, tap for 2. Colorless, activate only if you control 5 or more lands. Petrify, 1 in a white. It's an enchantment aura. You enchant an artifact or a creature. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Encroaching Mycosynth, 3 and a blue. Non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for permanent spells you control and non-land permanent cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. That will help with Mech Titan Core if you need other stuff that you don't have. Arcane Lighthouse. Tap for colorless, or you can pay 1. Until end of turn, creatures your opponents control lose Hexproof and Shroud and can't have Hexproof and Shroud. So it's a good way to shut down something if you need to remove stuff. Azorius Chancery enters tapped. When it enters, you return a land you control to your hand, and then you can tap it for a white and a blue. Academy Ruins, legendary land, taps for a colorless, or you can pay 1 and a blue and tap it to put a target artifact card from your graveyard on top of your library. So that works for this guy. When you draw 2 cards and you have to discard a card, you can then pay to get that back up on there if it's something that you need. Loshil, Clockwork Scholar, 2 and a white. Legendary creature, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking artifact creatures you control. In a vehicle deck, that works great. Whenever 1 or more artifact creatures enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. It only triggers once each turn. Power and toughness 2/4. Padim, Consul of Innovation, 3 and a blue. Artifacts you control have hexproof. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest mana value or tied for the highest mana value, draw a card. It's 1/4. Island. Lifecraft Engine, 3 mana. As this vehicle enters, choose a creature type. All vehicle creatures you control are the chosen creature type in addition to their other types. Each creature you control of the chosen type, other than this vehicle, gets +1/+1. Crew 3, and it is a 4/4. So basically, it enters and I say angels. That means vehicles I control are also angel creatures. So now they are basically Lifecraft. They're alive. So now, since they are angel creatures, they're not just vehicles. They can now attack without having to be crewed. As far as I understand it, I need to double check. I just got this card, but I think that's how it works. Propaganda, 2 and a blue. It's an enchantment. Creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 2 mana for each creature they control that's attacking you. Good way to protect you when you swing out with your vehicles and you don't have any blockers. Swords to Plowshares, 1 white. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. I like this one better. The Swords to Plowshare better than... what's the other one? Mana white. Oh, I'm completely spacing out on it. I like this one better than that one because this one just gives them a couple extra life, which is fine. The other one lets them search for a land card. And I would prefer not to give my opponents more fuel to their fire or more wood that they can burn to use as fuel, whatever the metaphor is. Prodigy's Prototype, 1 mana, a white and a blue. Whenever 1 or more vehicles you control attack, create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this power crews as 2 greater. Crew 2, 3/4 power. Sarah's Blessing, 1 and a white, enchantment. Attacking doesn't cause creatures you control to tap, so basically it gives your creatures vigilance. Urza, Lord High Artificer, 2 and 2 blue. When Urza enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 colorless artifact construct creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. Tap an untapped artifact you control, add a blue. Or you can pay 5 to shuffle your library, then exile the top card. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. It is a 1/4. I think this is on the Game Changers list. It's a big one. Lead a Mechanical Engineer, 2 and a white. Vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, untap each other artifact creature you control. 3 and a white to tap it to create a 5/5 colorless vehicle artifact token named Zeppelin with flying and crew 3. It is a 3/3. Take a sip. Throat's starting to get a little... All right. Next, we have the planes. Next, we have Inventor's Fair, legendary land at the beginning of your upkeep. If you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. Tap to add a colorless. Or you pay 4 to tap and sacrifice it. Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Activate only if you control 3 or more artifacts. Automated Artificer, 2 mana. Tap to add a colorless. Spend this only to activate an ability or cast an artifact spell. It is a 1/3. Plains, Reliquary Tower, no max hand size, tap for colorless. 3 mana, Bitter Thorn Nissa's Animus. It's a living weapon. It's a legendary artifact, and it's an equipment. The living weapon means that when I cast it, it comes out attached to a 0/0 germ. The equipped creature gets +1/+1, so now it is a 1/1 germ. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Equip cost 3. Island. Darksteel Forge, 9 mana. Artifacts you control have indestructible. If you get that other one, the Mycosynth, everything's an artifact, everything's indestructible. It's great. We love it. It's beautiful. Surge Hacker Mech, 4 mana. Menace, meaning you need 2 or more creatures to block it. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to twice the number of vehicles you control to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Crew 4, and it is a 5/5. Kitsune Ace, 1 and a white. Whenever a vehicle you control attacks, choose 1. That vehicle gains first strike until end of turn, or untap Kitsune Ace, 2/2. Sky Sovereign Console Flagship, 5 mana, legendary artifact. Flying. Whenever Sky Sovereign enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Crew 3, it is a 6/5. Counterbalance. 2 blue, enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, counter that spell. If it has the same counter that spell if it has the same mana value as the revealed card. So basically, it's on the board, someone casts a 3 mana spell, you reveal the top card of your library. If you do, counter that spell if the mana card that you revealed is 3 mana. So if they cast a 3 mana, you reveal 3 mana, you counter that spell. Darksteel Mutation, 1 and a white. It's an enchantment aura. You enchant a creature. Enchanted creature is an insect artifact creature with base power and toughness 0/1 and has indestructible, and it loses all other abilities, card types, and creature types. Reaver Titan, 7 mana. Protection from mana value 3 or less, meaning it cannot be targeted, blocked, affected by anything that has a mana value 3 or less. Whenever Reaver Titan attacks, it deals 5 damage to each opponent, and it is a crew 4. It's a 10/10. That's a big one. That's a good one. Jin-Gitaxias, Progress Tyrant, 5 mana and 2 blues. Whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. A copy of a permanent spell becomes a token. So if I cast the Reaver Titan, after this is out, I make a copy of the Reaver Titan. Now I have 2 Reaver Titans. It's beautiful. Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter that spell. This ability only triggers once each turn. It's a 5/5. That's a good power bomb thing to kind of like make you the target, obviously, but usually you have one really big, strong, powerful card. I think they're called bombs, and you want those in there. Island. Stifle, 1 blue. Counter target activated or triggered ability. Island. Spot Cycle Scouter, 1 and a white. When this vehicle enters, scry 2. Crew 1. It is a 3/2. Thunderhawk Gunship, 6 mana, flying. When Thunderhawk Gunship enters the battlefield, create 2 2/2 White Astartes warrior creature tokens with vigilance. Whenever Thunderhawk attacks, attacking creatures you control gain flying until end of turn. It is a crew 2, 6/6. Conjurer's Closet, 5 mana. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. For vehicles, this works great because they are creatures until the end of turn. At the beginning of your end step, you can exile tapped creature artifact vehicle that you got, comes back, and guess what? It's not tapped anymore, so that way you can use it to block with some other thing. It's beautiful. And then so when you got creatures like ETB does damage or ETB scry, you now get extra effects. Planes. Mech Hanger. Tap for a colorless or tap for 1 mana of any color. Spend this only to cast a pilot or vehicle spell. You can pay 3 mana, and target vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So if you don't have any creatures, and all you got is your artifact vehicles, bam, you can make one of them, do some stuff. Island. Unwinding Clock, 4 mana. Untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. Pretty self-explanatory. Norn's Annex. This one is in Phyrexian. 3 mana and then 2 white Phyrexian manas, which means you can either pay 2 whites or you can minus 2 life per white pip. So I can either pay a white and 2 life, a white and 2 life, or 2 whites or 4 life. And basically what it does is whenever anybody attacks you, they have to pay a Phyrexian mana, a white, or 2 life in order to attack you. So if you got, and there are a bunch of decks out there that don't have white mana, so bam, they have to pay life. Flusterstorm, 1 mana. Counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 1. Storm. When you cast a spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies. So if you got a couple of the smaller stuff out there and you want to hit with a big thing, make sure it doesn't get countered, this is a way to get it rolling. Tezzeret, the Seeker. 3 mana and 2 blue. +1. Untap up to 2 target artifacts, which is, great for this. -X. Search your library for an artifact card with mana value X or less. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. -5. Artifacts you control become artifact creatures with base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. It's 4 loyalty. And a Plains. Born to Drive, 2 mana and a white. It's an enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+1 for each creature and or vehicle you control. Or you can channel it, which is 2 and a white, to discard it and create 2 1/1 colorless pilot creature tokens with this vehicle. This creature cruise vehicles is those power 2 or gray. Stroke of Midnight, 2 and a white, instant, destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Arcane Signet, 2 mana. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Wonder, 3 and a blue. Flying. As long as Wonder is in your graveyard and you control an island, creatures you control have flying. It's a 2/2. With him being able to draw 2 cards and then discard a card, that's a great way to get it into the graveyard early. Plains. Mirrodin Besieged, 2 and a blue. When it enters the battlefield, choose Mirren or Phyrexian. Mirren is when you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token, or Phyrexian. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card, then discard a card. Then if there are 15 or more artifacts in your graveyard, target opponent loses the game. Cloud Key, 3 mana. As Cloud Key enters the battlefield, choose artifact, creature, enchantment, instant, or sorcery. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. We're obviously going to pick artifacts. Razortide Bridge, it's an artifact land. Enters tapped, indestructible. Taps for a white or a blue. One with the Machine, 3 and a blue. Draw cards equal to the highest mana value among artifacts you control. So we got a couple big ones in there, like Reaver Tie-In and Darksteel Citadel. Right? That one's like 9 mana. Yeah, Darksteel Forge. Okay. I had to remember, because if I didn't remember, I would have forgotten, and you know me. Imposter Mech, 1 and a blue. You may have Imposter Mech enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature an opponent controls, except it's a vehicle artifact with crew 3, and it loses all other card types. Crew 3, it's a 3/1. Research Thief, 4 and a blue. It has flash, meaning you can cast it as an instant. Flying, and whenever an artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. It's a 3/3. Luxurious Locomotive, 5 mana. Whenever Luxurious Locomotive attacks, create a treasure token for each creature that crewed it this turn. Crew 1, activate only once each turn. It's a 6/5. Odawara Soaring City, legendary land, taps for a blue, or you can channel for 3 and a blue. Discard it, return target artifact, enchantment, creature, or planeswalker to its owner's hand. This ability costs 1 less to cast for each legendary creature you control. I forgot to explain, there's another channel out here. What channel does is basically it's a thing that you can cast from your hand as an alternative option. And I believe it is outside of the normal interaction rules. So I don't like it, you can't counter it or anything like that, or do anything in response to it, if I remember correctly. Double check. Dusk and Dawn. Dusk is 2 and 2 white. Destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. And then Dawn, Aftermath. Cast this spell only from your graveyard, then exile. Return all creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Canoptic Scarab Swarm, 4 mana. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. For each artifact or land exiled this way, create a 1/1 colorless insect artifact creature token with flying. It's a 1/1. Katori Pilot Prodigy, 1 white and 1 blue. Vehicles you control have crew 2, meaning some of these other vehicles are like crew 5, crew 6, crew 8, is now crew 2. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature you control gains lifelink and vigilance until end of turn. It's a 2/4. We are out of space, and we still have more cards. You're in the way again, as usual. All right, we're going to move the commander out of the way. Oh, no, I ruined it. It's going to bother me if I can't see everything. It's got to be nice and tidy. Good presentation. That's what we're about. We got to have good production value. Bronze Guardian, 4 and a white. Double strike, ward 2, meaning an opponent that targets it with a spell or ability has to pay an additional 2 mana. Other artifacts you control have ward 2. Bronze Guardian's power is equal to the number of artifacts you control, and it has a 5 toughness. Ethereum Sculptor, 1 and a blue. Artifact spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. 1/2. Island. Rev 9, Replicative Assassin. Looks like this is an alternative one, or might be an in-universe one. It's the Auton Soldier, the Auton. You would want to say Automaton, but it's short for that. An Auton Soldier. 4 mana and 2 blue. It is also, I believe, from Doctor Who. You may have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it isn't legendary. It is an artifact indigenous other type, and it has Myriad. It's a 0/0. Myriad is when you attack one opponent, you create a copy that attacks your other 2 opponents. Island. High speed hover bike, 2 mana. Flash, flying. When it enters, tap up to 1 target creature. It's a crew 1 for 2/2. Gilded Lotus, 5 mana. You tap it to add 3 mana of any one color. Divine Visitation, 3 and 2 white. If 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. So if you got that insect card over here where you create a bunch of insects and you have this out, now those 1/1 flying insects become 4/4 flying vigilance angels. It's beautiful. It's awesome. We love it. Wall of Reverence, 3 and a white. Defender, flying. At the beginning of your end step, you may gain life equal to the power of target creature you control. It is a 1/6. Defender means it can't attack. Riling Dawnbreaker, 4 and a white, for a flying vigilance dragon. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gains +1/+0 until end of turn. It is a 3/4, or you can first cast it for its Signaling Roar, 1 and a white, to create a 2/2 white soldier creature token. It's got that go on an adventure mechanic. Plains. Ratchet, Field Medic, legendary artifact. 2 and a white. More than meets the eye, 1 and a white. You may cast this card for its converted mana cost. Lifelink. Whenever you gain life, you may convert Ratchet. When you do, return target artifact card with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life you gain this turn from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. It is a 2/4. On its other side is Ratchet Rescue Racer, Living Metal. As long as it's your turn, this vehicle is also a creature. Lifelink. Whenever one or more non-token artifacts you control are put into a graveyard from the battlefield, convert Ratchet. This ability triggers only once each turn. It's a 1/4. So, yeah, got some other recursion options and some life gain. We always like that. Island. Displacer Kitten, 3 and a blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's a 2/2. This is to help with that artifact vehicle thing, again, other ETB triggers, etc. Cyberdrive Awakener, 5 and a blue. Flying. Other artifact creatures you control have flying. When it enters the battlefield, until end of turn, each non-creature artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/4. It is a 4/4. This is a great way to have a bunch of stuff out there, and then you pop this thing, and then you can swing out with big creatures. It's fun. It's a blast. We like it. Cancel, 1 and 2 blue, counter target spell. And the Indomitable, 2 and 2 blue. Trample, meaning if you have 6 damage and a creature has 4 damage, you'll deal all 4 damage, and then 2 will go over to the player and deal into 2 damage to them. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Crew 3, you may cast the Indomitable from your graveyard as long as you control 3 or more tapped pirates and or vehicles. It's a 6/6. So we don't have any pirates, but we do got plenty of vehicles. And that's the deck. Now, my whole purpose, okay, the whole reason of this deck. This other stuff is in here because, yeah, they're artifacts and they're vehicles and blah, blah, blah. But the whole point and the goal of the deck is to get out your main 5 Power Rangers, right? And then you have the choice of either bringing out the green Power Ranger, or the white Power Ranger, okay? And then if you can get all of them out, that's fantastic. That's the dream, that's the goal. But the hope is to get at least the 5 out, and then use one of these guys to get the Megazord out, all on the field at the same time. That's the goal. That's the dream of the deck. That's what I want to do with it. So hopefully one day that will happen. I've just made the deck a little while ago, but I haven't gotten out to the store to play for a while. So when I do, I'm going to play this, and then I'll let you know. But that's the whole point. The whole point is to get the Power Rangers out. It's a blast. We love it. It's fun. Silly, kooky goals for decks. And then just to have a cool, one of your favorite anime type stuff. If you haven't noticed, I'm wearing the drill on my neck, so I'm a fan. Anyway, that's it. Casual Commander. You out here having fun. Got a cool couple interactions here. I haven't made a vehicle deck before. I have 2 other full artifact decks One of them being the colorless one that I showed you, and another one that is on the pipeline to come into the show as well. So this will be my third artifact deck, but it's more vehicles, so we'll see how that plays. I haven't messed with vehicles too much. But yeah, I hope you like it. Hope it's fun, and we'll catch you guys next time. Adios.